Princess Sophia's Grand Finale. The Kingdom of Whispering Echoes. Sophia, Queen of Serenia, had faced her inner demons and emerged wiser. The chilling whispers of the nameless winds no longer paralyzed her. The leaden despair of the citadel of ash had taught her the power of small actions, and the suffocating demands of the labyrinth of mirrors had shown her the freedom in imperfection. Her kingdom thrived, a beacon of measured action and realistic optimism. But a new, insidious threat arose, unlike any before. Across the continent, a sprawling ancient forest known as the Kingdom of Whispering Echoes began to expand its borders, slowly engulfing neighboring villages. It wasn't an aggressive takeover. The forest simply grew, consuming homes and fields in its silent, relentless advance. Those who entered the forest to investigate never returned, or they emerged utterly changed, their eyes vacant, their bodies moving like automatons, muttering disjointed phrases from their past, forever lost in the echoes of their own minds. This was a kingdom of beautiful ancient trees, but they seemed to absorb the very essence of thought and memory, trapping it in an endless, looping feedback. One day, a distraught messenger from a vanishing village brought Sophia a single, fragile leaf from the forest. As Sophia held it, a faint whisper touched her ear. "You could have done more. You could have prevented this." The nameless wind in its subtler form was still a presence. Sophia knew she had to confront this new mystery. Her counselors, wary from past experiences, began to overanalyze. "Is it magical wood rot, Your Majesty? Perhaps a new species of parasitic vine? We must form an expedition of exactly 12 skilled botanists, each carrying precisely 7 measuring tools to enter at exactly dawn. Any deviation could be catastrophic. The labyrinth demanding perfect, sterile plans." Sophia felt the familiar weight of the apathy settle. The task felt monumental, endless. To what end? The forest will just keep growing. Perhaps it's futile to resist nature. The shadow of the citadel of ash flickered. But Sophia had learned. She took a deep breath. "No," she declared. "We will send no expedition of 12. We will send one." And that one was Sophia. She rode towards the edge of the whispering echoes. As she neared, the air grew thick with phantom sounds. Children laughing from forgotten homes, the clatter of swords from battles long past, the joyous music of vanished festivals. Each sound was an echo, a fragment of memory woven into the very fabric of the expanding forest. Entering the forest was like stepping into a dream. The trees were ancient oaks and towering pines, their branches intertwined so densely that sunlight barely pierced through. She walked past phantom houses, their doors ajar, their interiors filled with the ghostly echoes of families long consumed. Every step she took was met with a chorus of whispers, far more potent than the nameless wind. "You missed a detail. This path is wrong. You are inadequate. Remember that time you stumbled as a child? You're doing it again." These were not just external whispers. They were her own past doubts, amplified and thrown back at her. the urge to stop, to give in to the cacophony, to just stand and let the forest absorb her, was immense. The leaden weight of the hopelessness tried to pull her down, promising oblivion from the relentless mental assault. Sofia fought it. She remembered the citadel of ash. One foot in front of the other, she murmured, just one meaningless step. She made a point of not trying to silence the whispers, but simply to act despite them. She picked up a fallen leaf. She tied a loose strand of hair. Small mechanical actions to ground herself in the present. Then came the illusions, reminiscent of the labyrinth. She saw a path perfectly straight, flawlessly lit, promising the quickest route to the heart of the forest. But just as she was about to step, a tiny, almost imperceptible crack appeared in the mirrored surface of the path. The voice of perfectionism, amplified by the echoes, demanded she reset her path, recalculate, find the flawless route. Sofia remembered the freedom of breaking the rules. "A crack is just a crack," she said out loud, her voice firm amidst the echoes. She stepped directly onto the flaw. The perfect path shimmered and vanished, revealing a slightly less appealing but ultimately real third path. She understood now. The kingdom of whispering echoes wasn't physical. It was a vast psychological trap. It grew by amplifying internal doubts, by feeding on inaction and the relentless pursuit of perfection until the mind became consumed by its own echoes. The forest absorbed those who couldn't escape their own heads. At the heart of the forest, she found no ancient evil, no dark magic. Instead, there was a vast, open clearing, entirely empty. But in the center, a single ancient gnarled tree stood, humming softly. From its leaves, all the whispers and echoes seemed to originate. This wasn't a tree to be cut down or a monster to be slain. It was a metaphor made real. Sofia sat beneath the tree. The echoes of her entire life, her anxieties, her moments of despair, her need for control, assailed her. Instead of fighting them, she listened. She didn't dwell, she didn't analyze, she simply acknowledged them. "I hear you," she said to the tree, to the echoes, to herself. "I hear all the fears, all the doubts, all the imperfections." Then she performed one last, deliberate action. She pulled out a small, unassuming wooden whistle she carried. It was imperfectly carved, slightly chipped, just a simple tool. She put it to her lips and blew. The sound was not loud nor melodious. It was a single, distinct note. It didn't try to drown out the echoes. It simply existed alongside them. And as that single imperfect note resonated, the whispering echoes didn't vanish, but they did begin to clarify. The cacophony of voices softened, becoming distinct individual memories. The phantom houses became just trees. The illusions of perfect paths faded to reveal simple, navigable trails. Sofia had not cured the forest, nor she had eliminated the internal struggles. She had simply learned to differentiate between the echo and the reality, between the noise and the action, between the ideal and the sufficient. The forest did not recede, but its power to absorb minds was broken. Villagers could now navigate its edges without succumbing to the echoes. They learned from Sofia. Acknowledge the whispers, take the small steps, and accept the messy, imperfect path. And so Queen Sofia, the overthinker, who had once been trapped in her own mind, became the wisest ruler Serenia had ever known, teaching her people not to fear their internal landscapes, but to navigate them with courage, action, and the acceptance of their beautifully imperfect selves.